and welcome to the first episode of the Noble Knight Duelist. In this episode, I'll be going over all of the codes in the Noble Knight Archetype and their effects. So first off, we have Noble Knight Artorias. It's a level 4 light warrior monster, 1800 attack, 1800 defense, no effect. Then we have Noble Knight Midrad. It works similar to a Gemini monster. So when it's not equipped with a Noble Ohms equip spell, it counts as a normal monster. But then when it's equipped, its level increases by 1, it becomes a dark monster, and it gains the effect. Once per turn, if I control no other monsters, you can special summon a Noble Knight monster from your deck in defense position, except Noble Knight Midrad. And if you do, destroy one equipped spell you control. 1700 attack and 1000 defense. This is your main starter code. You always want to see it in your opening hand. Noble Knight Boars. This code is treated as a normal monster while face up on the field. While equipped with a Noble Ohms equipped spell code, this code becomes an effect monster with this effect. This code becomes dark and its level increases by 1. During your main phase, you can reveal 3 Noble Ohms codes from your deck. Have your opponent randomly add one of them to your hand. Also send the rest to the graveyard. You can only use the effect of Noble Knight Boars once per turn. 1700 attack, 900 defense. It's like your Power Tool Dragon for the deck. It gets you access to any of your equipped spells you need. And they don't have to be equipped spells. You just need Noble Ohms in the name, so you can search for the Trap or Guinevere. Noble Knight Gaurdragon, 1500 attack, 1800 defense. This code is treated as a normal monster while face up on the field. While equipped with a Noble Ohms equipped spell, this code becomes an effect monster with this effect. You can target one Noble Knight monster in your graveyard, add it to your hand. If you do, destroy one Noble Ohms equipped spell you control. You can only use the effect of Noble Knight Gaurdragon once per turn. Noble Knight Gawain, 1900 attack, 500 defense. If you control a light normal monster, you can special summon this from your hand in face up defense position. This just synergizes with all of these codes. Noble Knight Custonin, 1000 attack, 2000 defense. This is just another extender for the deck. If you control a Noble Ohms equipped spell, you can special summon this code from your hand. You can only special summon Noble Knight Custonin once per turn this way. A Noble Knight monster that was Synchro, Xyz, or Link summoned using this code as a material gains this effect. If this code was special summoned, you can normal summon one Noble Knight monster during your main phase this turn in addition to your normal summon set. You can only gain this effect once per turn, and you can locks you into Noble Knight, only summoning Noble Knights for the rest of the turn. Noble Knight Brothers, 1200 attack, 2400 defense. You can only attack if you control exactly 3 Noble Knight monsters. If this code is normal summoned, you can special summon up to 2 Noble Knight monsters from your hand. Also, you cannot special summon monsters for the rest of the turn except for Noble Knights, so again, it locks you in. And once per turn, you can target 3 Noble Knight or Noble Ohms codes in your graveyard, shuffle all 3 into deck, and draw a code. Noble Knight Ivan, 1700 attack, 1600 defense. If a Noble Ohms equipped spell becomes equipped to this code, you can special summon one Noble Knight token. It's a warrior level 4, 1000 attack, 1000 defense. You cannot special summon monsters for the rest of the turn except Noble Knight monsters, so it locks you in. You can only use this effect of Noble Knight Ivan once per turn. While this code is equipped with a Noble Ohms equipped spell, all other Noble Knights gain 500 attack. Noble Knight Dristan, 1800 attack, 800 defense. While you control another Noble Knight monster, your opponent cannot target your monsters with less than 1800 attack except this code. If a Noble Ohms equipped spell is equipped to this code, target one face-up code on the field and destroy it. You can only use the effect of Noble Knight Dristin once per turn. Noble Knight Pellinor, 1900 attack, 500 defense. You can target one Noble Ohms equipped spell equipped to this code and one face-up monster your opponent controls, destroy them, then draw one card. Also, this code cannot attack for the rest of the turn. You can only use the effect of Noble Knight Pellinor once per turn. Noble Knight Echtetal. This is a bit different because it's a level 5 warrior dark monster. 1600 attack, 2000 defense. Its effect reads, you can banish 2 Noble Knight monsters from your graveyard. Special summon this card from your hand or graveyard. You can only use the effect of Noble Knight Echtetal once per turn. A synchro or Xyz summon of a Noble Knight monster using this card as a material cannot be negated. Also, your opponent cannot activate cards or effects when that monster is special summoned. Ignoble Knight of Black Landicillin. Another level 5 dark monster, 2000 attack, 800 defense. You can send one face-up light normal monster you control to the graveyard, special summon this card from your hand or grave. You can tribute one Noble Knight monster, add one Noble Ohms card from your deck to your hand. You can only use the effect of this card once per turn. Noble Knight Peridor, 1900 attack, 300 defense. While equipped with a Noble Ohms equipped spell, this card becomes dark and its level increases by 1. If this card is sent to the graveyard while equipped with a Noble Ohms equipped spell, target one Noble Ohms card in your graveyard, add that target to your hand. Noble Knight Bedroar, 1600 attack, 1500 defense. When this card is normal or special summoned, you can send one Noble Ohms equipped spell from your deck to your graveyard. During either player's turn, you can target one Noble Ohms equipped spell card and one appropriate monster on the field. Equip that equipped spell to the appropriate monster. The effect can only be used once while this card is face up on the field. Noble Knight Joan, 1900 attack, 1300 defense. Its effect is, if this card attacks, it loses 300 attack during the damage step only. If this card in your possession is destroyed by your opponent's card, either by battle or card effect, and sent to the graveyard, you can send one card from your hand to your grave, then target one level 4 or lower warrior type monster in your graveyard, add that to your hand. So that's done for the Noble Knights. Now support cards, we have Heritage of the Chalice. It says add one Noble Knight monster or one Noble Ohms card from your deck or graveyard to your hand. If your Noble Knight monster equipped with a Noble Ohms equipped spell is destroyed by battle and sent to the graveyard while this is in your graveyard, you can add this card to your hand. You can only use this effect once per turn. This is your main sorcerer card. It's great. Glory of the Noble Knights. Target one Noble Knight monster you control, equip it with one equip spell from your deck. That can be equipped to that target. You can only activate one Glory of the Noble Knights once per turn. It's a quick play, so it can lead to some interesting combos. Now, Noble Knights of the Round Table. This is the field spell for the deck, even though it's not used that much. During the end phase, you can activate each of these effects up to once per turn, depending on the number of Noble Knight cards with different names in your graveyard and or that you control. If you have 3 or more, you can send a Noble Knight from your deck to your graveyard. If you have 6 or more, you can special summon a Noble Knight from your hand, then equip a Noble Ohms equipped spell from your hand to that monster. 9 or more, you can target a Noble Knight monster in your graveyard, add that to your hand, and 12 or more, you can draw a card. Last chapter of the Noble Knights. If your opponent controls a monster and you control no monsters, you can target one Noble Ohms equipped spell and one appropriate Noble Knight monster in your graveyard, special summon that monster, and if you do, equip the equipped spell to that appropriate monster. You can only activate one last chapter in Noble Knight's Porton. Until Noble Ohms are needed once again, this is the code you can send off of Noble Knight Boars. It says excavate codes from the top of your deck equal to the number of Noble Ohms equipped spells you control. If you do, add one of them to your hand, and it doesn't need Noble Knight in the name, so you can excavate anything you want. Also place the remaining codes on top of your deck in any order. You can banish this code from your graveyard except for the turn it was sent there, and then special summon a Noble Knight monster from your deck with a different name from every code you control and or that is in your graveyard. You can only use this code's name and effect once per turn. Avalon, target 5 Noble Knight monsters in your graveyard, including at least one Autorgus monster, at least one Landacillian monster. Banish those targets, and if you do, destroy all codes on the field. So this is like Raigeki for Noble Knights. Morlin is a level 3 Dark spellcaster, 1400 attack, 500 defense. You can only use each effect of Morlin once per turn. You can tribute this code and special summon a Noble Knight monster from your deck. And you cannot special summon monsters this turn except Noble Knight, so it locks you in, but it gives you access to anything you need. And during either player's turn, you can banish this from your graveyard and immediately either Synchro Summon or Xyz Summon. This can help you OTK. Guinevere, Queen of Noble Ohms. It's a level 2 light spellcaster, 300 attack, 300 defense. It acts very similar to Noble Ohms, so you equip it to a Noble Knight, it goes in the spell and trap zone. Whatever Noble Knight is equipped with this code gains 300 attack, and it gets an effect depending on what you equipped it to. If you equipped to a light monster, then if that monster would be destroyed by a code effect, you destroy this instead. But if it's a dark monster, if the equipped monster battles an opponent's monster at the start of the damage step, you can destroy that monster and this code. It can be equipped from your hand or from your grave. Lady of the Lake, a level 1 light aqua tuner type monster, 200 attack, 1800 defense. It cannot be used as a single material except for the Synchro Summon of a warrior type monster. If it's used as for a Synchro Summon, you banish it. When this code is normal summon, you can target one Noble Knight normal monster in your graveyard, special summon that target. If this code is in your graveyard, you can target one level 5 Noble Knight monster you control, reduce its level by 1, and special summon this code from your graveyard. Morgan, the Enchantress of Avalon, a level 3 Dark spellcaster type monster, 1300 attack, 1600 defense. When your opponent activates a code or effect while you control a Noble Knight monster and a Noble Ohms equipped spell, as a quick effect, you can send this from your hand to your graveyard, destroy one Noble Ohms equipped spell you control, and if you do, negate the activation. You can only use the effect of Morgan the Enchantress of Avalon once per turn. This is the hand trap for the deck. Now for the Noble Ohms codes. We have Noble Ohms Caliborn. All the Noble Ohms codes are just equipped spells for the Archetype. You can only control one Noble Ohms Caliborn. Equip only to a warrior type monster. It gains 500 attack. Once per turn, you can gain 500 life points. It's not a hold once per turn. If this face-up code on the field is destroyed and sent to the graveyard, you can target one warrior type Noble Knight monster you control. Equip this code to that target. You can only use the effect of Noble Ohms Caliborn once per turn. All of the Noble Ohms, they re-equip once they're destroyed. There's Noble Ohms of Destiny. You can only control one Noble Ohms of Destiny, equip only to a warrior type monster. Once per turn, the equipped monster cannot be destroyed by battle or code effects. And again, it re-equips when it's destroyed. Noble Ohms Gallatin, Similar effects, but the monster gains 1,000 attack, and during each of your standby phases, it loses 200 attack. Again, it re-equips. Noble Ohm's Clearant. It says you can pay 500 life points, and then the equipped monster can attack directly this turn. It re-equips. Noble Ohm's Overduture. Has to be equipped to a warrior type monster. Once per turn, you can target a set code your opponent controls. Whatever monster that is equipped to loses 500 attack, and the effect stays if this leaves the field. Then destroy the set code. Noble Ohm's Excalibur, the only one that doesn't re-equip. Equip only to a Noble Knight monster. It cannot be targeted by opponent's code effects. During your turn, except the turn that this code was sent to the graveyard, you can banish this from your grave, then target one Noble Knight Xyz monster you control, special summon from your extra deck one Noble Knight Xyz monster with a different name, using that target as a material. It's treated as an Xyz summon, and it gets all the materials. Now for the extra deck, you first have the Kings. You have Sacred Noble Knight of King Otorgus. It is a rank 5 light warrior Xyz monster, 2200 attack, 2200 defense. It just requires 2 level 5 Noble Knight monsters to summon. When this is Xyz summoned, you can target up to 3 Noble Ohms, equip spell codes with different names in your graveyard, equip those targets to this code. Once per turn, you can detach a material from this code, then target one other monster on the field, destroy that target. If this code is sent from the field to the graveyard, you can target one level 4 or higher Noble Knight monster in your graveyard, special summon that target. What's great about that is it doesn't need to be destroyed, so if this code's tributed or whatever. Now, Otorgus, King of the Noble Knights. A rank 4 light warrior Xyz monster. It needs 2 level 4 Noble Knight monsters to summon, 2000 attack, 2000 defense. When this code is Xyz summoned, you can target up to 3 Noble Ohms, equip spell codes with different names in your graveyard, equip those targets to this code. So similar effect, and once per turn, you can detach one material from this code and destroy a number of spells or traps on the field, up to the number of Noble Ohms equipped spells you control. Sacred Noble Knight of King Custanin. It requires 2 or more level 4 Noble Knight monsters. It has 1500 attack, 2500 defense. You can detach any number of materials from this code, then target that many codes your opponent controls, return them to the hand. If this code is destroyed by battle or code effect and sent to the graveyard, you can special summon one Noble Knight Xyz monster from your extra deck, except Sacred Noble Knight of King Custanin. And if you do, attach this code from your graveyard to that as a material. It's treated as an Xyz summon, so it floats into either of your other kings. You can only use the effect once per turn. We have Ignoble Knight of High Landicillin. It's a level 5 Dark Warrior Synchro monster, 2100 attack, 900 defense. It needs a tuner and 1 or more non-tuner Noble Knight monsters. When this code is synchro summoned, you can equip 1 Noble Ohms equip spell code from your deck to this code. At the end of the battle phase, if this code destroyed a monster and sent it to the graveyard this turn, you can add 1 Noble Knight or Noble Ohms code from deck to hand. And you can only control 1 code with this name. Last, Isolde, Two Tales of the Noble Knights. It's a light Link 2 monster that requires 2 warrior type monsters to summon, 1600 attack points. If this code is link summoned, you can add a warrior from your deck to your hand, but for the rest of the turn, you cannot normal summon or special summon things with that name, nor activate effects with that monster's name. You can send any number of equipped spells with different names from your deck to your graveyard, then special summon a warrior type monster from your deck whose levels equals the number of equipped spells you sent to the graveyard. And you can only use each effect of Isolde once per turn. So thank you for watching. In my next video, I'll be doing a deck profile for Noble Knights.